Hi everyone, welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. We'll call this the Crisis Edition of the Green Bay Packers.
No crisis, man. It's the Packers. We don't flinch.
It's not a crisis?
No, that's media stuff.
It's not as bad as you guys losing to Indianapolis when you were undefeated?
I don't remember
You don't
that.
remember that? Lindy beat you?
No. I'm going to be doing this show with somebody else.
Yeah, every week I'm going to go through the worst moments in your career.
Well, it was the worst moment against the Cowboys just this past Sunday.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, wasn't it?
I think it has something to do with Brett Favre being around again.
Brett Favre?
They just lose every time he comes back.
He's a good luck charm. He's right in the tunnel there
When
with
he's
McCarthy.
playing.
He gave him his good luck.
Well, McCarthy's a class act.
See?
That's why.
You know?
Because one day McCarthy's going to be wearing a jacket like that, so it's nice to get to know him.
Wow, that's a statement.
Absolutely. We're lucky to have McCarthy.
What about number 12? Is he ever going to be wearing one
Well,
of
let's
those?
talk about that right now.
Okay, let's talk
He had a
about
good
that.
start to his career. You know me tell you what's what people would say, like former players or in a barbershop or like off talk, how when we just talk about players who've played. And I think a lot of people agree with me about Aaron Rodgers. The first 6 or 7 years, Tom, he caught the NFL by storm. They had no idea, nothing about him.
Mm-hmm.
They just thought with Brett Favre, 16 years, there's no way they can have another guy that good.
Mm-hmm.
So teams played a lot of man-to-man, a lot of, quarters and simple coverages. But it seems like now guys, defensive coordinators, they're playing them a lot different, as we're going to talk about in X's and O's. But a lot of it is, what's the identity of the offense? Do you want to be aggressive? Or do you want to just check it down? But it still goes through number 12. But I really think that first 6 or 7 years, 2 MVPs in the Super Bowl, the NFL was like, okay, we've never seen anybody like this.
Right. Now they've caught up to him?
They've caught up.
Yeah.
Not so much to McCarthy, to how do you play Aaron.
Right.
Let him throw it. You double 87.
Don't
rush
worry
3.
about his hard count very much
Nope.
anymore. He's not getting them on that much, the 12 men.
Nope. They don't care nothing about that no more.
Let's break
Let Montgomery catch 10 balls. Who cares?
Let's break them down a little bit from, do you see a mechanical problem with the way he's throwing the ball?
I say sometimes, yes. I think for the most part, most quarterbacks, if you got a quick release, it is a lot of arms. It is. But it makes your bottom half of your torso very quiet. But when you have a lot of motions to where when you throw the trajectory of the ball and your release is starting to change, that happens when you get in your 30s if you're any NFL quarterback.
Could you see that in a guy when you were studying a guy? If you're studying an
Absolutely.
opponent, you could tell whether he was changing.
Absolutely. Yes. Where he holds the ball when he's running, you try to strip it, get a fumble. When he's holding the ball, when he's looking downfield, how high is it? How low is it? And then what does he do when he's about to throw? Mm-hmm. See if it's a hitch. And sometimes if you really have a quick trigger, you get a little complacent, a little arrogant in your throws.
Right.
And you just don't sharpen up on your skills because it's baked in already.
Right.
I'm not going to practice individual drills because I've already done that. Right. I think it was one thing about them doing the wet football drill.
And he blew it off. I was nice enough to do it
for the coaches. Right. And you don't normally hear that.
Yeah, you can't say that.
And when people asked Rodgers, I think a couple of weeks ago or something, he said, I'm not changing anything.
Right.
I mean, he's not being condescending. He just thinks it hits. No, he's not really, because you have to understand what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a guy who's been on top of the mountain and platinum for years.
No question.
He's never been last in completion. In completion percentage, he's last.
Right.
58%.
Yeah.
This guy normally is close to 70. So he's dealing with the same shock we're dealing with. But one thing you could say about Aaron, he'll complete over 65%. He don't turn the ball over. And he's been doing that. So that's alarming.
Yeah, that has been a big part of it. Let's talk about what could Mike McCarthy do for Rodgers? Sometimes your coach has got to bail you out of these situations.
That's a fantastic point. You got to buy in.
Well, who's got to buy in?
Well, I'll put it this way. Don't go to therapy if you're not going to listen.
Uh-huh.
Just stay out of it. But if you want help and you go to therapy, and the therapy is really my coach. My coach gonna sit down, watch the film with me, and help me through it. That's what great therapists do. But you have to be truthful with them so they can help you.
Right. We don't know if that's going on, though.
I don't think Aaron think he needs help. No.
Right.
He think y'all need help.
Right.
What's the big issue? Yeah, why are y'all bringing this up? We'll be fine.
Right.
We'll be fine.
I think they thought that going into the Cowboys game. I got the sense after the game that they took a little, it was like a shot to the jaw. Like, oh, yeah, maybe things are screwed up. You know, maybe we do need to look at ourselves a little deeper. Now, I think they kind of got, as the week went on, they were back into their, you know, ultra confidence mode. But that was, you know, I sort of went down to the press conference and I just looked. I wanted to just see what the mannerisms, and I wanted to come back and say, ask them, you know, you said this before the game. You said this wasn't broken. You said you're a few plays away. How do you feel about that now? You know, and you know, they were far less confident about that.
But the shock of it is that a rookie quarterback, Andrew Luck did it before, Russell Wilson. These are rookie quarterbacks. I mean, Dak Prescott went in the 4th round.
Yeah.
He looked more composed.
He did.
He looked more calm, and he bought into the game plan. If Aaron really wants to get back to that platinum status, there's only one person can help him, and it's the guy that built him. That's Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
But whether he's buying in or not, it doesn't look that way.
Yeah.
So he needs to go to McCarthy, and McCarthy can really help him get to that next level that he wants to be. That's the only way you can win a Super Bowl.
One way he could do that, in my opinion, is change the offense to be more emphasized towards running the ball. Like, be a running team that plays to your defense. Now, that sounds great, except that now you're out without Eddie Lacy. He's not going to play on Thursday night. He may be headed for injured reserve, which would be 8 weeks without Eddie Lacy because of an ankle problem. James Starks out a couple weeks. Pick up Niall Davis. Who knows what he can give you on Thursday?
Yeah.
You know, after 2 days of being in town, you got a practice squad guy, Don Jackson, is probably going to be brought up. My point here is now you don't really have that tool. You had that tool where you could have gone to Eddie Lacy and said, take the pressure off of Rodgers. Now you don't have it. What do you do?
Well, either you got to go to all spread and just do what Rodgers really wants to do and throw the ball around. But they did throw the ball 42 times.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, he completed over 31 of them. Not too bad, actually, but that's just not moving the ball. And red zone is just bad.
Yeah.
And I think for the most
part, the one where he missed, he airmailed Randall Cobb.
Right.
Show that in X's and O's.
Red zone
very
is
puzzling.
Red zone is the issue. And I'll tell you what we did, Tom, real quick. This is what we did back in the 90s, and I know people, this is prehistoric days to some people, but it worked. Fridays was red zone day. But now I think Friday is like an off day for them.
Yeah, I think they
something
don't
like
get
that.
to it till Saturday, I think.
Saturday, in my opinion, should be nothing but a walkthrough. If you're practicing on Saturday, some guys are going to get hurt on a Saturday, like Rollins. You're too close to the game. Go back to what we did was first on first, Friday was in red zone. Brett Favre against LeRoy Butler, not a lot of coaching. It was like a game.
Yeah.
We were the best in the red zone. The emphasis has to be red zone on Friday, but I just can't see myself skipping a Friday, a work day, and then doing something on Saturday, and then going and getting on a plane
It's
and
all
play.
based on their analytics.
Hey,
that you know, based on like Olympic training.
Oh, the Olympic guys don't play no football. Man, get out. Bill, come get him.
All right.
Olympic guys don't get hit.
Before you go crazy, I want to.
I'm going crazy over here with analytics. That's for baseball.
Change the subject.
Yeah, hurry up and change it.
I want to talk about the coverages that he's seeing. You know, we've seen this before. We saw this. Denver did it. You know,
Yes.
you're just going to drop guys, and you're going to let your four-man rush go after them, and you're going to make their wide receivers beat you, and worked great for Dallas. And I think Chicago will do the same thing.
Giants did the same thing. As a matter of fact, Detroit did it the second half.
Yeah. How are you going to beat that?
You rush. They're going to rush 3 or 4, like you said, and just play coverage.
Yeah.
you're going to have to beat it because each defense has a weakness. Every defense has a weakness.
Right.
Our defense, 90s, the Bears at 86, every defense has a weakness. You have to find it.
Yeah.
Coaches find it. That's why they put in 18 hours a day. And you take that. That's why Dallas was giving them Montgomery. 10 catches, 98 yards.
Right.
But they said that ain't going to beat us because guess who hasn't caught one? 18 and 87.
Right.
So anybody else, until Jerry Cook gets back in another 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, who knows?
That's killing them too, not having a tight end.
Especially one of that size.
Yeah. Or can run down the field.
It's going to take short passes to get to old West Coast concepts, to just high percentage, get his percentages up, get his confidence is always up, but you know what I mean.
Good luck with that.
I know, but you got to go back to do what true West Coast do. And McCarthy knows all that stuff. They just got to listen.
Okay.
And he'll help them.
We just have a couple of minutes left, but their secondary is a mess too. Their top 3 cornerbacks are out. Sam Shields has been put on injured reserve.
Yeah, when I heard it was a trade, I thought it was in the defensive backfield. Yeah. I really did. I mean, I'm glad it was now Davis. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I really thought it was in the secondary.
Demarius Randall's out. Quentin Rollins is out. Shields is on injured reserve, and I don't think he'll play again this year because if they put Lacy on IR, they have to choose which one they want back, and I think Lacy's going to wind up being more important. So, Ladarius Gunter and Demetriu Goodson, what do you tell them about playing Jeffrey and Eddie Royals out for the Bears? So, I mean, geez, there's like 13 guys that play between the two teams.
This can be a real ugly game, or you wait till I give Bill my score. People are going to faint.
Okay.
But
anyway, what do you do if you're Dom Capers in the secondary?
Man-to-man and play too deep.
Just play too deep?
Too deep, man-to-man underneath.
Okay.
I would not be blitzing quarterbacks and exposing these guys.
Just count on your front
after what Dallas did, I'll play a lot of cover 2 and just build off of my front 7 because those guys are not in the position. Because those guys are supposed to be your special team guys.
Yeah.
But if you go through any team and you take off the top 3 or 4 DBs, that's why they cut 12 of them.
Yeah.
This was going to happen.
But you know, this is not unusual in the NFL. The Giants were decimated in the in the secondary.
Yep.
The Cowboys were losing guys right and left. You know, so you have to deal with it. You know, and both, you know, the Giants and the Cowboys did a decent job. The Packers have to find a way to do a good
Scheme
job.
helps anything, and that's the one thing that Don Capers has been around. Scheme, but do not expose these guys because Dallas did a great job of game planning.
Yeah, they did.
That's why they got the big play.
Okay, and now, drum roll. Let's go with Butler pick here, and it is
50-38.
Oh my God, what?
Hey, I don't know how the weather's going to be, but Aaron's going to throw 6 touchdowns.
Oh my God.
And the Bears, the only reason why they won't score 2 more, their guys are going to fall.
I am
this
running
game will
to Vegas to go bet on the Bears.
This will be
now.
like the last time I said this, it wasn't. So it should be a
if you're a bookie, call me right now. I have a bet for you.
I'm telling you, no one's going to be able to stop anybody in this game.
Okay. All right. That should be
just, the numbers just don't bear it out. You got all these young guys playing. A lot of them don't even know some of the plays they're going to be going in because they're used to playing.
Yeah, it is going to be
They used to be on the scout team, for Christ's sake.
13 guys are either out or doubtful, so.
Yep.
All right. Okay, well, we will see you back next week after a little bit of break this weekend. And don't forget to check with us on X's and O's.